Streaming live on the KREF app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings studios, it's time to get locked into the best Sooner recruiting and football news with Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000 or text the show at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
Ladies and gentlemen, the illustrious University of Oklahoma has once again dethroned Texas Tech and now sits atop the nation in the 2027 recruiting cycle. The Sooners and the Red Raiders have been flip-flopping for the last several weeks, last couple months really, for the distinction of having the number one recruiting class in the 2027 cycle. But as of this morning, OU is once again back in front by virtue of their latest 2027 commit. This class is expanding rapidly, and expanding well ahead of schedule for the Sooners. The latest addition, 3-star cornerback Mikyal Davis from Desert Edge High School down in the state of Arizona. And Grayson Singleton, I think it's pretty clear when you watch Mikyal Davis's tape that this is not your run-of-the-mill 3-star.
No.
There are certain guys, and look, certain valuable football players, guys with a definite future at the collegiate level, that even when you watch their tape, you come to the reasonable conclusion, okay, he's probably going to finish the cycle as a 3-star. That's an accurate assessment of what he is right now. Mikyal Davis is not going to finish the cycle as a 3-star. Absolutely no way. You flip on that dude's tape, and you know who he reminds me of?
Who's
Grayson?
that? Who's that?
I want to see if we're thinking along the same lines here. Who does he remind you of when you watch the tape?
Okay, I have not thought this far into it. Come back to me on that one.
The guy he reminds me of?
Go for it.
Cortland Guillory.
Okay.
And we kind of loosely made that comparison with Mikhail McCreary,
Right.
Oklahoma's previous
Right.
cornerback commit. But, man, the thing that jumps out at you about Mikyal Davis, well, a couple things. For one, he is really sticky in coverage.
Yes, he is.
He is always right in the hip pocket of the receiver. Excellent technique, excellent top-end speed and acceleration. Receivers don't create separation, genuine separation, on Mikyal Davis. But the other thing, and this is where I see a little bit of Eli Bowen in his game. In my mind, he's somewhere in between Cortland Guillory and Eli Bowen stylistically. He loves to come downhill and tackle.
Yes.
And he plays a completely fearless style of football, not only in coverage, but also in run support. This is some really fun tape.
Yeah, it is. And we brought this up to Open Steely's show before you got back from the presser. And one of the other things that sticks out to me, which is something that sticks out to me a lot with these guys, positional versatility. Mm-hmm. And how many positions do you see this guy play on tape? He's played outside corner, he's played safety, and he has played slot corner. All he does very, very well. So he's a guy that you could move around for necessity purposes, for fit purposes, or whatever. If you need to move him, you can. Now, obviously, he's going to play corner at Oklahoma. That's the plan. But he does have experience playing all over the place. But what stands out to me is his fearlessness. Like you said, there's this weird this weird stereotype that corners don't like to hit people. And that stereotype largely has been concocted.
Sometimes that's real
due to the fault of corners. So, but there is a stereotype that corners don't like to go up and hit people. This dude likes to hit people, and you would think by virtue of that, this is like a dude who's 190, 195 pounds. He's 5'11", 170. and some cases 165, depending on where you look. He's not a finished product in terms of building his body, but he sure makes up for it because he doesn't care. He's just going to throw himself out there and, you know what? See what happens. Hope for the best. Love him, man. Love him. Hell of a prospect.
He's got an attitude. And that, to me, is very, very reminiscent of the Sooners' two current starting cornerbacks in Guillory and Bowen. Again, I kind of see Davis as the perfect mix of the two. He's a very Jay Valai style of cornerback because Bowen and Guillory don't have the same attitude. They're not cut from the exact same cloth in that regard. But I love the tenacity with which he flies around. That's very reminiscent of Bowen. And then just the swagger that he has. Man, the swagger that he has on the gridiron is very similar to the swagger that Guillory has. And you have to have that confidence, that all-out sense of self-belief if you're going to play this position at a high level in the SEC.
Now, I will say one thing that does remind me of Cortland Guillory with Mikyal Davis, the length.
Yep.
They both have pretty long arms. And they both use them pretty well, too.
This is a guy that I think is going to play early at Oklahoma. I think Mikyal Davis is the type of cornerback that could show up as a true freshman, as both Bowen and Guillory did, and get on the field. Does he morph into a starter? Who the heck knows? Because we don't know what Oklahoma's cornerback room is going to look like by the time he shows up in 2027. But he's going to be a player very quickly at Oklahoma. I feel confident in that. Barring injury, barring anything that might sidetrack his development, I love what I see on tape from Mikyal Davis, and this is a huge pickup for Oklahoma, especially because, as we discussed last week, it's not just about Davis, but it's also about his high school teammate down at Desert Edge High. Zerek Sidney, the 4-star wideout who dropped to top 5 yesterday. One of his 5 finalists for his commitment is, not shockingly, the University of Oklahoma. And so with Davis already in the fold, it only strengthens the Sooners' pitch and intensifies their pursuit of Zerek Sidney.
Now, this might be obvious and may not move people because one's a 4-star and the other currently is a 3. I love Zerek Sidney. I like Zerek Sidney more as a prospect than Mikyal Davis, which, by the way, is no slight to the latter. But Zerek Sidney, I think, and again, this is a topic that we brought up last week, but Oklahoma, I would like to see get back to the days where they had a game changer at wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb, Marvin Mims type of dude, right? D.D. Westbrook type of guys. They don't have that right now. Didn't have it last year too. But Zerek Sidney is a dude, really good build, and plays with an attitude, man. Like just a straight attitude. Stands out on tape to me. So if they can bring that dude in, I love how technically sound he is with his releases. His releases off the line of scrimmage look like he's been watching some Devontae Adams type of tape with the way he gets off the line of scrimmage and just evades dudes who are trying to jam him and play press coverage. So big body, strong hands, excellent get off, and attitude. If they get that dude, he could morph into your next type of dude that could be that game changer at wide receiver.
Let's review Oklahoma's 2027 class to date. They already have 7 commits. And there are more coming, folks. Don't get it twisted. But 7 commits already as of November 18th, 2025. 5-star offensive tackle Cooper Hackett out of Fort Gibson, Oklahoma. 5-star offensive guard Caden Penny out of Bigsby, Oklahoma. 4-star wide receiver Damari DeJearn out of Pacific Palisades, California. 4-star cornerback Mikhail McCreary out of San Antonio, Texas. 3-star cornerback Mikyal Davis, whom we just mentioned, out of Goodyear, Arizona, the newest addition. 3-star running back Jackson Stokes out of Chatsworth, California. And 3-star offensive tackle Luke Wilson out of Southlake, Texas. So, if you're doing the math, 2 Oklahoma commits, 2 California commits, 2 Texans, and 1 Arizonan in the fold so far for Oklahoma, which could become 2 if the Sooners are able to close on Zerek Sidney. I do really like where they stand for Sidney. We've talked about Taven Epps, another guy that could be an addition in the not-too-distant future for Oklahoma to the 2027 class. And when you start to rack up commits this early in the process, Grayson, this is legitimately the best-case scenario. If you are racking up early commits and you are winning football games such that the guys that are committing early aren't going to have much of a reason to look elsewhere based on the on-field product.
Yeah.
What this does is it quite naturally creates a bit of a crunch for the uncommitted guys that you're pursuing. Because everyone knows, every recruit knows, spots are limited. And so, for example, right now, looking at the cornerback room, if you're taking stock of what Oklahoma has committed in McCreary and Mikyal Davis, and you're a blue-chip cornerback along the lines of, let's say, a Juju Johnson from Long Beach, California, or Darius Johnson, current OU commit Derek Johnson's younger brother from Murrieta Valley, California. Those two guys are probably going to start to take Oklahoma a little bit more seriously, even more so than they already are. And I think Oklahoma leads for both of those guys. I think they lead for Darius Johnson and Juju Johnson. But I guess I shouldn't say they're going to start to take Oklahoma more seriously.
They're going to feel the urgency.
They're going to, correct. They're going to start to take an accelerated timeline more seriously. The prospect of accelerating their own timelines is going to be something that resides in the back of their head, because they have to understand what are the odds Oklahoma's going to take more than 3 cornerbacks in a single cycle? Like, is there only one spot remaining? If there's only one spot remaining, I should probably jump on it, right?
Right.
If I feel good about the situation at Oklahoma, or in Darius Johnson's shoes, if my older brother Derek is already committed to the Sooners and I have this chance to go play with him, man, I better lock it in now. And so the ball starts rolling faster and faster downhill if you're able to start locking in commitments from high-end football players this early in the class, and then you pair that with success on the football field. This could not be unfolding any more ideally for Oklahoma in the 2027 class than it is, because so many guys are going to start to speed up their timelines in reaction to the way that Oklahoma's class is starting to fill up. Reformed Homer on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. By the way, that text line is 405-651-3439 if you want to chime in throughout the show. Reformed Homer says, in your opinion, Parker, are there more recruits looking for the best fit or for the best payout opportunity? There's no blanket answer there, Reformed Homer, but I will say this, and this is something I think Oklahoma's very well suited to capitalize on. Consider the individuals that are involved with Oklahoma's front office operation. Jim Nagy, Lake Dawson, Taylor Redd, etc. NFL front office veterans. Every single high school football player that the University of Oklahoma is recruiting has dreams of playing football in the NFL. If you don't have dreams of playing football in the NFL and you have an offer from the University of Oklahoma, you're not going to continue to be recruited by the University of Oklahoma, because they don't want guys that aren't ambitious, obviously. They don't want guys that aren't willing to hold themselves to the highest standard and aspire to greatness. And so if you're a recruit considering the University of Oklahoma and you're mindful of the reality that the big wigs in Oklahoma's front office have lived the NFL experience, they have seen what NFL talent looks like, and they know what it takes to get guys there and for guys to last there, then all that's going to do is enhance your perspective of what Oklahoma can offer you in terms of development as a football player. And I do think we're starting to see a correction. There is, and there will always be, as long as NIL is legal, there will always be players that are after nothing more than the biggest check. And that's fine. Man, and maybe I'll dig into this next segment, I have a take that's somewhat adjacent to this, but broader. But if you want to get to the NFL and you're looking for development and you're looking for know-how and you're looking for guys involved with the operation that are going to build you up and be able to do you good in that pursuit, then a school like Oklahoma makes a ton of sense at face value. You're not going to sign with the University of Oklahoma or any university these days for $0 if you're a blue chip recruit. You've got to be able to play the NIL game. You don't necessarily have to have the best offer, because especially when you have guys like Jim Nagy and Lake Dawson and Taylor Redd that can sit in on these conversations with recruits and their families, and they can testify to the reality that if and when you make the NFL, your first paycheck as a professional football player is going to completely blow away any earnings that you may garner as a college football player, then you don't necessarily have to be concerned about putting more money in front of every single prospect than all the other schools chasing his pledge. As long as it's healthy, as long as it's competitive, as long as it isn't a low ball, you're going to stand a pretty good chance. And so I do think we're starting to see that more and more as time passes, is guys aren't necessarily taking the biggest bag. They're looking for the best overall opportunity, which naturally has to include a competitive NIL package, but also offers them a developmental track, a clear plan for their careers as student athletes. It's going to help get them to that first NFL contract. It's going to be worth far more money than whatever they may make throughout their college careers. So, hopefully that sheds light on what you were hoping it would, Reformed Homer. And with that, we do have to hit a break. On the other side, Grayson, Singleton, and I are going to make every effort to stump each other with a pair of trivia questions. Trivia Tuesday has arrived on Locked In. Look forward to playing the game with y'all next and discussing more OU football and recruiting on the text line, 405-651-3439. This is The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Keep it right here.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510.
In the midst of this exciting football season and return of big league hoops, don't forget, it's health insurance season. November 1st through December 15th is the only time to renew or change your individual health insurance for 2026 without a qualifying event. Due to federal changes, it's more important than ever. Allison Insurance has guided thousands of Oklahomans toward the right health insurance policy. Call Allison Insurance at 745-2968 or 800-580-5587. Allison Insurance. They are the experts.
They don't want to hire you because your paper might say Oklahoma School for the Blind.
I was just completely homebound because I was always too afraid to go outside. I want to be a productive member of society, and that's what DRS has given me.
They offer you opportunities to getting a job, helping you learn how to advocate for yourself, find the best way to try living your life in the fullest way possible.
Oklahoma and DRS has been the biggest blessing in my life.
See me.
And not my disability.
Spread some joy this holiday season with the Hal Smith gift card. One card, 14 restaurants. Giving the perfect gift has never been easier.
No one plans for an injury, but when the worst happens, count on the best orthopedic team to turn your setbacks into comebacks. Ortho Central's comprehensive care has you covered, from expert orthopedic surgery and sports medicine to in-house imaging, physical therapy, and even a bone health clinic. So whether it's a fracture, a tear, or just life catching up with you, we're here to get you moving again. Ortho Central, it's in our bones to take care of yours. Learn more at orthocentralok.com.
At Oklahoma Electric Cooperative and OEC Fiber, being a local cooperative means more than just doing business. It's about building a community. We're owned and operated by people just like you, ensuring that every voice is heard and every decision strengthens us all. A core principle of cooperatives is concern for community. That means we are located here, right in your backyard, creating jobs, supporting local initiatives, and providing you more individualized, reliable service. OEC and OEC Fiber, that's the power of connection.
For 3 generations, the John M. Ireland and Son Funeral Home and Chapel in Morris continued to serve the community by giving back to local schools, charitable organizations, and first responders.
We provide pre-planning for funerals and cremation services at the most reasonable prices.
We are proud to be a family-owned and operated funeral home.
Award-winning funeral home year after year, our family believes in serving the people of our community.
I'm John Ireland.
And I'm Solon Daniels.
You've got our word on it.
If you're thinking about a new Ford, Vance Country Ford in Guthrie is thinking about you with some very special deals. So ready, set, Ford. Take note of these special offers. New 2025 Ford F-150 XLTs with 3.9% APR for 72 months, plus $3,250 bonus cash, plus $1,000 appreciation cash from military and first responders. Wow! Or new Ford Explorers with 3.9% APR for 72 months, plus $1,500 bonus cash, plus $1,000 appreciation cash from military and first responders. And new 2025 Ford Bronco Sport Big Bend, only $299 per month, 36-month red carpet lease. Vance Country Ford in Guthrie, family owned and operated, only 10 minutes north of Edmond on I-35. Visit us at vanceautogroup.com. With approved credit while supplies last through November 19th.
Spread some joy this holiday season with the Hal Smith gift card. 1 card, 14 restaurants. Giving the perfect gift has never been easier.
Swing over to the YouTube chat for just a second. We are on YouTube every single day, in addition to your radio airwaves here on Locked In. Parker Thune, Grayson, Singleton. I understand, Grayson, we have a super chat.
Yes, we do. It comes from our friend Pierre, who says, "Good afternoon. I'm just chiming in. Who do you think we can flip for the 2026 class?"
Who do I think OU can flip? Well, let's start with the 2 that I think are the highest percentage flip possibilities for Oklahoma. And those are 3-star offensive lineman Noah Abibi, currently committed to Tulane. He is a native of Friendswood, Texas. And 4-star running back Messiah Mickens out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, who is currently committed to Penn State. Now, James Franklin just took the Virginia Tech job. So this is going to be worth monitoring because you would imagine that James Franklin is essentially going to try to bring the entire 2026 class that he had committed to him at Penn State with him to Blacksburg, Virginia. Obviously, that won't be a 100% success rate in that regard. And on paper, especially for a running back, Oklahoma seems to make more sense from a business standpoint than Virginia Tech. But James Franklin has a lot of sway with those recruits. That's going to be something worth monitoring. Messiah Mickens is OVing to the University of Oklahoma, and they're going to have the chance to make an impression on him very, very close to signing day because we are just over 2 weeks out from signing day. So decision time is coming soon for Mickens, and I like where Oklahoma stands. So I like them to flip Mickens. I like them to flip Noah Abibi. We will see about Jaden Petit. It's gotten to the point where no one really knows or is sure what that kid is going to do. Seems like he's got some folks tugging him in certain directions. I think it comes down to Wisconsin, the school that he's currently committed to, and Oklahoma. I don't know that any other school is going to be able at this point to successfully work towards a flip of Jaden Petit. He either flips to Oklahoma or he signs with Wisconsin. That is my belief. I don't know right now which of those 2 outcomes is going to come to pass. But those are the 3 names right now to know, the 3 top names to know. I will say this. There are a couple of other players that Oklahoma is working very quietly to flip. Emphasis on quietly. It's the type of thing where a guy you may not expect to be on campus this Saturday shows up on campus this Saturday. And you see him down there on the sidelines, or you see pictures of him circulating on social media, and you're going, oh, yeah, that kid, isn't he committed to so-and-so? Dang, he's good. Wonder if Oklahoma can sway him. The three names to know are Mickens, Abibi, Petit. There are at least a couple other names that aren't publicly known right now that Oklahoma is working on. And until there's a strong sense that things are trending in the right direction there, the program prefers to keep everything on the down low. But don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if there's a surprise visitor or two this weekend.
Keeping it with the YouTube chat, JG says, I'm over the Petit situation. Take his bread and use it in the portal.
No, I get it. And trust me, there are people in the Switzer Center that feel that way. The problem is Jaden Petit's really good.
Yeah, that's
really good.
That's the problem.
We're not talking about some rando in the class here. We're talking about a guy that, in my opinion, should he sign with Oklahoma, is neck and neck with Jasir Rogers for the distinction of being the best of the five wideouts that would be in the class at that point. The most college-ready of the five wideouts. You ready for Trivia Tuesday? Ready to pivot there?
Let's do it, man.
Okay. As always, I will give you the option. Do you want to ask your question first, or do you want to answer my question first?
I'm going to answer first today.
Okay. Sounds good.
Let's do it.
I'm interested to see what you do with this one because I genuinely have no idea what your answer is going to be.
Okay.
It's not, and the answer, I will say, isn't one that necessarily jumps out at you like, oh, that's super obvious. So I'm angling for a deep think here.
Okay.
When Missouri comes to town this weekend, Oklahoma will have the opportunity to secure their 5th ranked win of the season. And when we speak of ranked wins here, we're talking about teams that were ranked at the time that Oklahoma beat them.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
Auburn was a ranked win, and obviously Tennessee, Alabama were, in addition to Michigan and non-con, were ranked wins. Missouri will be number 5. The last time OU beat 5 ranked teams in a season was when?
Whoa. Okay.
Can you name the last season that Oklahoma scored 5 ranked wins?
Because those latter years in the Big 12.
Everybody sucked.
Exactly. I'm going to go circa 2012 in that area.
You're not far off.
Okay.
You're not far off. A lot of people on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line saying 2000. It has not been near that long.
I couldn't imagine it was that long ago.
Yeah, it has not been near that long. So many people saying 2000. It's a very popular answer. But no. Obviously, in the Big 12's latter days, before Oklahoma's departure, the conference was weak. But there was a time in the late 2000s, early to mid-2010s, that there were a number of respectable teams in the conference. Maybe not elite, but top 25 programs. Basically everyone is saying 2000 on the text line.
Mm-hmm.
No,
yeah.
folks.
There's a couple on the YouTube chat as well.
The answer is 2015. In 2015, which was Baker Mayfield's first year as the starting quarterback at Oklahoma, the Sooners obviously went to the college football playoff, ended up losing to Brent Venables and Clemson in the CFP. That year, they defeated number 23 Tennessee. The comeback victory, down 17-0, clawed all the way back, and that was the day that the legend of Baker Mayfield was born. They went on to beat number 23 West Virginia, number 6 Baylor, number 18 TCU, and number 11 Oklahoma State. So it has been a decade, folks, since Oklahoma won 5 games in the same season against ranked opponents. And obviously the last time that happened, OU wound up in the CFP field. So,
as you should.
Things are trending quite nicely for Oklahoma if they can get things done this weekend against Missouri. Okay. Fire it at me. What do you got?
All right, here we go. So the original question I had for you was way too easy, so I was like, I got to make this a little bit harder. So in honor of Mikyal Davis committing from the state of Arizona, other than the one current Oklahoma Sooner that is from the state of Arizona, Jeremiah Newcomb, who was the last player that the Sooners signed out of the state of Oklahoma, out of high school?
I think I know this one. I'm almost certain I know this one.
Go for it.
Is it Noah Nelson?
Yes, it is.
Boom!
Yes, it is.
Nailed it, folks. That was class of 2019?
Class
of 20?
2020.
Okay, yeah.
3-star offensive tackle from Gilbert, Arizona.
That would have been the same class as Nate Anderson, Andrew Rame, and Anton Harrison.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Marvin Mims was in the class. Reggie Grimes was in the class as well.
And if you rewind 1 year, Spencer Rattler was a big, big signee for Oklahoma. The highly consequential signee from the state of Arizona. But yeah, Noah Nelson, that's one that would have slipped by many folks.
And I thought it might slip by you. I thought it was obscure enough to slip by you.
Noah Nelson. He
Well
only
done.
spent 1 year at Oklahoma, had concussion issues. Of course, that was in an era where Oklahoma, as an athletic department, as a program, was very, very dodgy about concussions. It's the reason Grant Calcaterra left, right?
Yeah.
But he had concussion issues. Oklahoma basically said, hey, you can't play here anymore. It's too much of a liability for us. And so he wound up transferring, as I recall, to the University of Northern Arizona. Back home. So Noah Nelson. Yeah, Williams Field High School? Was that what it was?
Give me 1 second. Let me find it again.
Gilbert, Arizona.
Yes,
I want to say Williams Field
High School. Yes, sir.
Noah Nelson. I thought he was going to be good, man. Unfortunately, concussions sidetracked him.
Was he a prospect that you could have seen being a pretty good contributor for Oklahoma?
Yeah, he was huge. Huge and athletic.
6'8", 295.
Could not get past repeated concussions, though. I lost track of him after he transferred to NAU. Have no idea what became of him. But, yes, that would have been the last Sooner prior to Jeremiah Newcomb, who is the current Arizona Sooner on Oklahoma's roster. And, by the way, he was, another bit of obscure trivia, Jeremiah Newcomb was the first commit of Oklahoma's 2024 class back in March of 23. That class took forever to get rolling. Once it did get rolling, man, Oklahoma went on quite a run. They wound up, I believe, with the number 7 class in the nation in 2024, headlined by the likes of David Stone and obviously Michael Hawkins at the quarterback position, Taylor Tatum at running back, even though that hasn't really panned out. Yeah, that was a good class for Oklahoma, but it took forever for somebody to break the dam and be the first commit. The Sooners do not have that problem when we're talking about the 2027 cycle. As they get ready to wrap up 26, the focus will shift here in the next 3 weeks or so to 2027, and Oklahoma is already doing excellent work racking up commits in that particular cycle. Mark Andrews, there you go, G-Money. Mark Andrews was another Arizona Sooner. Mark Andrews came to Oklahoma as a wide receiver. They quickly realized, yeah, you're a tight end. You're a tight end. It's going to make a ton of plays for this program in the slot, because that was the era where, that was a wide open era of offense in the Big 12. Everybody was in the shotgun all the time, which really hasn't changed.
I was about to say, that's still kind of the same thing.
But it was all like 10 personnel. And so Mark Andrews essentially functioned as a slot receiver, even though he was a 6'5", 240 or 250 tight end, whatever he was. He essentially functioned as a slot receiver for the most part for Oklahoma. There wasn't a whole lot of inline stuff Mark Andrews was doing.
No, not really. Joe in Tulsa on the text line says, going back to our conversation about Jaden Petit, I believe. Yeah, we heard how good Elijah Thomas was, and all the other Emmett Jones recruits were, but he only plays transfers. Emmett Jones receivers haven't done blank, fill in the blank there. Kearney, Carrion, and Thomas need reps, or they will transfer too.
Okay, Joe. Here's the problem with that. What you're advocating for, whether consciously or not, is you're advocating for Oklahoma to play guys just for the sake of getting them reps. What I would like, what everyone should want with Oklahoma's receiver room, is for the coaching staff to be playing the best guys. If Zion Kearney isn't one of the best guys, I don't want him taking snaps away from Jermichael Carter or Keontez Lewis. If Ivan Carrion isn't one of the best guys, I don't want him taking snaps away from Deion Burks or Giovanni Gibson or whoever. If Elijah Thomas isn't one of the best guys, I don't want his snaps coming at the expense of Isaiah Satania's snaps. And so, look, I get it. I get it if you're feeling impatient with Emmett Jones' high school signees from the 2024 cycle. You have to keep in mind, though, it's only year 2 for those guys. It's only year 2. And Isaiah Satania is having a fantastic season. He's going to threaten to eclipse that 1,000-yard barrier. Jermichael Carter's really emerging as of late. I love what he brings to the table. Keontez Lewis, when healthy, has been a difference maker. I think the one guy that it's fair to be disappointed with is Deion Burks. That's entirely fair. And there was a texter last hour that asked, I thought Deion Burks was supposed to have this incredible season, and he just hasn't lived up to expectations. And to that, I would say I think it depends on who you were listening to preseason. Because I do recall, nationally, there was a lot of hype surrounding Deion Burks. But locally, who was the guy that we were talking about?
Isaiah Satania.
It was Isaiah Satania.
And Giovanni Gibson pre-injury.
Yes. And so if you were, let's say August, if you go back to August, you were listening to national pundits talk about Oklahoma. They were talking up Deion Burks. If you were listening to local reporters talk about Oklahoma, including us on this show, we were talking about the reality that Isaiah Satania had emerged as the guy that had the best chemistry with John Mateer out of all the receivers and had become his go-to guy. And so it should not be a surprise, I don't think, the way that things have played out in that receiver room and the fact that Isaiah Satania has, at pretty much every juncture throughout the season, been the guy that John Mateer looks to first. And when you're in a gotta-have-it situation, when Oklahoma's offense has been in a gotta-have-it situation, the two guys that Mateer has looked to with the greatest regularity have been Satania and Jaron Kanik at tight end.
Can I also defend Deion Burks with this, though?
Sure.
Early in the season, especially in that game against, I believe, Illinois State, Oklahoma got the ball in the goal, like right in front of its own goal line, and they just told Deion Burks, run a go route, and John is going to put it on you, go make a play. They don't do a whole lot of that anymore.
They don't.
And I think Deion Burks' disappearance from the offense, and that even might be a stretch, but his diminished target rate has to do with the fact that they're not pushing the ball down the field. John really isn't. He's not sitting back in the pocket enough for Deion to even get open on a deep dig route. He's fleeing the pocket. So I think the way that John has gotten happy feet in the pocket, that combined with the fact that Oklahoma's not pushing the ball down the field a whole lot, has kind of played out of what Deion Burks is good at and has therefore led to more reliance on Kanik and a more first look toward Isaiah Satania. So Deion Burks has something to do with it, but I do think the way the offense is played has kind of shuffled him to the back burner a little bit.
Joe and Tulsa followed up and said, Parker, so what you're saying is the high school recruits aren't good. That's Jones' fault. If the sophomores aren't good by now, that's development issues. He has 0 juniors playing too. He hasn't landed a top 10 receiver ever, and he hasn't put a receiver in the league. Couple things here, Joe. First off, Emmett Jones has put receivers in the league, not at the University of Oklahoma, but you have to understand this is only his 3rd year on staff. He hasn't really had the chance to oversee every aspect of guys' development yet. And as far as not landing a top 10 receiver, Do you know what top 10 receivers cost these days?
A lot of money.
I promise you, if Oklahoma ever lands a top 10 receiver, yes, we're going to give it up to Emmett Jones for the relational work that he did in that recruitment. But it's also going to be because Oklahoma wrote a huge check. Every single top 10 receiver these days comes at a steep, steep cost. And that's not a battle that Emmett Jones can win on his own, of his own accord. You need the support of the people who distribute the money, who write the checks. And no, by no means am I saying the high school recruits aren't good. What I'm saying is Zion Kearney, Ivan Carrione, Elijah Thomas, whoever else you want to cite there, they're not good enough to play over a seasoned redshirt junior in Isaiah Satania, who has proven to be a dynamic playmaker, a seasoned redshirt senior in Deion Burks, who from a production standpoint maybe hasn't lived up to expectations, but has proven when the ball is in his hands what Oklahoma saw in him and why he was the number one wide receiver in last winter's transfer portal. And a committee of transfer acquisitions in Jermichael Carter, Keontez Lewis, and Giovanni Gibson, who were all brought in to be short-term plug-and-play guys. If Zion Kearney was starting over Giovanni Gibson, Jermichael Carter, and or Keontez Lewis, what we would be saying about those three guys is why on earth did Oklahoma spend the money to go get those guys in the transfer portal this past offseason if they're not good enough to play? Any way you slice it, Joe, there's going to be some bone. Like, if you want a bone to pick with Emmett Jones, you're going to be able to find a bone to pick. Because if Zion Kearney's not playing, then it's, well, he's not getting developed well enough. If Zion Kearney and Ivan Carrione are playing over the junior and senior transfers that they brought in, it's, well, these transfers must suck. Why did Oklahoma go and get these guys if they can't play? So this is just kind of the nature of the beast. You have, I think Oklahoma has 14 scholarship receivers right now. You have 14 scholarship receivers, 3 of whom can be on the field at the same time. Certain guys are going to earn more snaps than other guys. However it happens, I just want Oklahoma to play the best guys. And that's what you should want as well. 405-651-3439. Final segment of Locked In coming up on the other side here on The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
A true Sooner fan wouldn't be caught dead without the KREF app. Join the Army. Get the app. Tell your friends. This is The Ref, where diehard Sooner fans listen.
I wanted to use the Oklahoma Tobacco Helpline because I knew that I could get resources for free. I didn't realize there would be a coach. And that was awesome because you have someone calling you consistently, making sure that you're accountable. It felt like I was talking to a friend. It was a very easy experience for me. So yeah, it was a very key part to my success in quitting smoking.
Call us at 1-800-QUIT-NOW to get started, a program of TSAT.
I'm Gina Mitchell of Mitchell's Jewelry. Whether you're looking for the perfect gifts to dazzle your loved ones or choosing a present for yourself, you can rely on our elves at Mitchell's Jewelry. Explore our curated collection of Vahan bracelets, brilliant diamond studs, timeless gemstone jewelry, and the latest designer timepieces from Michelle and Shinola. Don't make Santa wonder what you want. Create your wish list online or in store. Make your holiday sparkle at Mitchell's Jewelry in the heart of Norman at 2201 West Main Street.
Winning in business means having the right teammate. Stride Bank's commercial banking experts are here with treasury management, lending, and cash flow solutions designed to help your business score big. From local startups to established enterprises, we've got the tools and expertise you need. Visit stridebank.com. Stride Bank, member FDIC. Stride Bank on your team since 1913 with Oklahoma roots and nationwide reach.
Looking for a trusted, locally owned and operated roofing company in Oklahoma? Black Thunder Roofing is a top-rated Home Advisor Elite Service Award winner and recipients of multiple Angie Superior Service Awards. They can do it all. Black Thunder also does free inspections and estimates. Locally operated in Norman and Edmond, Black Thunder Roofing serves OKC's metro area south to Purcell, Noble, Blanchard, as well as Yukon, Mustang, Bethany, and Piedmont. Visit blackthunderroofing.com or call 405-473-8028 for your free estimate today.
Sooner Nation, are you ready? Football season is here and new arrivals are landing daily at Balfour of Norman from your favorite brands. Whether you're dressing for game day, setting up the perfect tailgate, or hosting the ultimate watch party, we've got everything you need. Live from historic Campus Corner in Norman, Oklahoma. Shop Balfour of Norman, your home of everything Sooner. Shop in store or online at crimsonproud.com.
Let's talk turkey. Riverwind is OKC's favorite place to play.
And we've got plenty of jackpots to be thankful for.
Why stop at one thrill when you can chase all three at once?
Play blackjack, baccarat, and roulette on our all-new gaming machine.
Looking for the best in rewards? Elevate your player status when you win with your wild card.
Fridays in November, play for your share of our $120,000 Pixel Power giveaway.
Expect the best at Riverwind.
Hey, Ref Army, want to know what's happening in Norman? Pick up Boyd Street Magazine, Norman's oldest community magazine. Get the latest on OU sports, local eats, to spotlights on incredible businesses, nonprofits, and can't-miss events. Boyd Street keeps it local. Read the current edition free at boydstreet.com or pick up any copy at racks across Norman and more, like at Legends, Interurban, Louis Pub W, and La Baguette. Follow Boyd Street on social media for bonus content and to find even more pickup locations. That's Boyd Street Magazine, your community connection. Holiday season is right around the corner, and you know what that means. Holiday parties. From small events to big buyouts, Heyday Entertainment has the perfect party package for you. Book a bowling party or a play party at Heyday Norman, or shake things up with a pickleball bash at Hey Pickle Pickle, right off of I-35 and Indian Hills Road. Skip the stress and slay the holidays when you party with Heyday. Call 405-310-3500 to book your event today or visit heydayfun.com. Heyday, where you choose your fun.
Oh, Michael and Marlowe on the text line said, acting like you saw this season coming from 5, i.e. Isaiah Satania, is some Brandon Walker stuff, dog. You're better than that, Thune.
Whoa.
Michael.
Whoa.
Look, I don't claim to be a genius. I don't claim to be right about everything. Lord knows I'm not. When part of your job is making predictions, inevitably, you're going to be wrong quite a bit. I have been over the years. I will continue to be. It comes with the territory. However, in response to that, I'm just going to quote you from this article that I wrote at OUinsider.com on August 22nd entitled Projecting the Statistical Leaders in 2025 for Oklahoma.
Parker pulling out his own receipts.
Uh-huh. Let's get to the catches section. Isaiah Satania. Throughout the offseason, the Arkansas transfer has emerged as John Mateer's most reliable target on the practice field. He'll play the slot and he'll play outside. He'll go across the middle and he'll run downfield routes. Satania is going to be on the field a ton for Oklahoma any way you slice it, and thus the opportunities should be myriad for him. Receiving yards. Isaiah Satania. A duplicate choice. Unsexy as it may be, I'm so bullish on Satania's volume potential that a different candidate didn't seem to make much sense. If he catches as many passes as I'd expect him to catch, i.e. 70 to 80 at least, he'll easily knock on the door of the 1,000-yard threshold. And given his big play capability, he'll probably fly past it. Much as I wanted to go with a sleeper like Zion Kearney or Keontez Lewis, I kept coming back to the issue of sheer volume. With that in mind, this should be a category in which either Satania or Burks leads the team. And again, I'm more confident rolling with Satania based on off-season buzz. QED. Michael and Marlowe, excuse me. QED. What does that stand for? It's Latin. Quid erat demonstratum or something like that.
You are the only employee of this entire company that could just pull that out of your ass.
By the way, if you look at Isaiah Satania's production thus far this season and what he's on track for in both catches and receiving yards, right in line with what I predicted. Sorry, Michael. Elsewhere on the text line, Joe in Tulsa says, Parker, there's zero rotation with Burks and Satania. This means fatigue sets in and you aren't able to get open deep. They have to have a rotation, some type of a small rotation. Why do you think the defense rotates people in? I've seen enough from Kearney to know he is good enough to give Burks a break. Also, Burks should be in the slot. Fair, Joe. Yeah. You have your opinion. I have mine. Ultimately, the opinions that matter are the opinions of the coaching staff. And this coaching staff seems willing right now to ride with Isaiah Satania, Deion Burks, and some sort of committee at the X involving Jermichael Carter, Giovanni Gibson, and once he's healthy again, Keontez Lewis. We also saw Jacob Jordan on Saturday, first time in a while.
Yeah,
he had played snaps.
He did make an appearance, and that goes hand in hand with what Mark on the YouTube chat, who sent us a super chat, by the way. He says, OU is not the YMCA, and not everybody gets to play. And also keep this in mind, too. As the college football season's gone on, I've realized this. There's not a whole heck of a lot of top-flight teams, Parker, that are rotating 6-7 receivers in-game. I mean, just look at the team that Oklahoma just faced this weekend, Alabama. How many other receivers are you really seeing in meaningful time not named Bernard, Williams, and Horton? Right? Like, look at LSU. They ride Barryon Brown, Xavion Thomas, and one other guy, I mean, Nick Anderson sometimes, but they usually have their set of 3. Ohio State with Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, and then usually one other. Like, there's not a whole lot of teams that are going deep into that receiver depth chart. Why? Because the guys who are special are the ones that can come down with the football and make the special plays, and you want them on the field as much as possible.
How about Glenn from Nashville's text? Parker, I think what you're saying is trust the coaches to put the best talent on the field, and I generally agree with that. However, I've heard for the last year from you and others about the incredible athleticism of Elijah Thomas, yet he can't get on the field. When I look at our receivers struggling to get separation, I start to wonder if Elijah Thomas would do any worse. That's fair, Glenn, but my answer to that, I'll read you verbatim a text that I just got minutes ago from a parent of a current player on the team who's a regular listener. It says this: how do people think every freshman is ready to play just because they were highly recruited? Some guys, yes, come in ready, but so much development has to happen physically and mentally. And that's where Elijah Thomas is at. Physically, he's an insane specimen. Insane. One of the most gifted guys, maybe the most gifted guy on Oklahoma's entire roster. But it's not just about physical traits. Otherwise, Nick Harbor would have won the Biletnikoff the last 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's not just about the physical. It's about the mental. It's about the preparation. It's about the polish. There's so much that goes into being a productive college football player. And Elijah Thomas's time is going to come. It doesn't look like his time is going to come here in 2025. And that's fine.
Yeah.
He's doing a heck of a job on special teams.
A verified source says, no one's more popular than a backup on a team that tends to struggle scoring points.
Yeah, that's true.
Amen to that.
I mean, after the Kent State game, Mike Hawkins had no future at Oklahoma. And there was a very lively discussion on the text line in the 12 o'clock hour as to whether he would be better for Oklahoma moving forward if he were to start over John Mateer. So the backups are always popular when things aren't completely simpatico.
And it's funny that the backups for Oklahoma are so popular right now because the team is 8-2.
I know, man. Like they're going to be probably number 8 or 9 tonight in the college football playoff rankings release.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We can just enjoy the moment, folks. That's okay.
Now, Sooner Dude has a question that I kind of am on, and I'm on board with. Why do we need 14 wide receivers?
Yeah, that's a lot of receivers. And I think, Sooner Dude, that's somewhat reactionary. That's largely reactionary because of how much of a struggle it was for Oklahoma at that position last season, where it felt like everybody in the program going into 2025 was kind of the mindset that we're just going to make absolutely certain we have a ton of possible answers in order to increase the likelihood that we do find 3, 4, 5 guys that we can rely on. I don't think it's going to be commonplace year over year that Oklahoma's rostering 14 scholarship wide receivers. And as we've discussed, there's probably going to be a pretty significant culling of the fold that happens postseason at that position.
Yeah, Chris from Knoxville just says, because we lost 7 wide receivers last year. Spartan Sooner, last text. If X is still banged up and it seems Barnes and Tatum are just not coming back this year, can we just throw Kanik back there instead of having to deal with Ott anymore?
Oh, man, and you know what? We'll talk about this more tomorrow because there's so much more here that I want to dive into than the 90 seconds that we have remaining will allow. But I'm not saying Jaden Ott is checked out. It's not my place to say that. I will simply say this. I don't know that I have seen a player at the University of Oklahoma in recent memory that comes off as, that appears as checked out as Jaden Ott. I don't want to see him on the field. Whatever the alternative is, give me the alternative. If that's Gabe Sawchuk, the walk-on, great. If that's Andy Bass, 11 months removed from his second ACL surgery, great. If that's putting Jaron Kanik in the backfield and handing him the football, great. Whatever the case may be, like whatever the alternative is, that is what I want.
Just anybody but him.
Okay, folks, we are done here on Locked In. Fortunately, the phenomenal programming here on the Ref rolls on. Coming up next, Tyler and Ted have you for the next 3 hours on The Rush. For Grayson Singleton, I am Parker Thune. We will do it all again tomorrow. Same time, same place. Right here on The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Everybody take it easy.